Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another brand new episode of Boss Babes. I am so excited and so thrilled to be with all of you tonight. A great special episode. And I know that I say that for almost every episode because every single one is unique in their own way. But tonight is even more special because, as you guys know, the Boss Babes are so big with giving back, getting involved with charity, going to charity events, and letting you all know how athletes and entertainers give back to the community that they grew up in or that they are involved in. Also, you guys all know with COVID, Boss Babes have not been able to attend local charity events. So tonight's special episode is all about the Princess Program Foundation, founded by a really great young lady named Alyssa Banks. So we're going to be chatting all about charity and how she gives back to the Boston area. But before we get into what she does back home in Boston, I have a special notice from our great sponsor. We love Bet Online because they are amazing. And obviously sports are back. The wait is finally over. Football is back. You might not be at a game this year, but you could still be in on all the action. Bet Online. Bet Online is going the extra mile to make sure you can get in on everything imaginable this season, from game spreads and totals to team, player, and coaching props. Bet Online gives you more options to wager than any other place online. You can get in on all their season opening bonuses today and start off wagering on the win. Division and championship futures today. Head to Bet Online. Okay, guys, so listen up. That's betonline.ag online today and take advantage of all the great sign-up bonuses. Again, guys, that's betonline.ag online, guys. Today, go sign up. So Bet Online, your online sportsbook experts. So please go check out Bet Online. We love them. They are such a great sponsor. And obviously, sports are back. Some of you guys are probably betting on some of your favorite teams and players, so go ahead and check them out. Without further ado, we're going to jump right on in with our girl. We have Alyssa Banks right here. How are you, Alyssa?
Good. How are you, Brittany?
Thank you so much for joining in today.
Thank you so much for having me.
So exciting. I love how you have the princess dresses right behind you, very fitting for the Princess Program Foundation. And again, guys, this is Alyssa Banks. She is an incredible young lady, grew up right in Bellingham, Massachusetts. We're going to be jumping into that shortly. But she started such a great program. It's all about giving back to the community, helping out sick children that need a little smile on their face when they have nothing else going on for them, especially during COVID right now. All they need is a smile, a little teddy bear, a princess showing up to their house, or Spider-Man showing up to their house or at the hospital bed. So yes, Princess Program Foundation, we are here to chat about that tonight. But before we get into the Princess Program Foundation, one of your favorite holidays of all time is Christmas. Why is that your favorite holiday?
My favorite holiday of all time is Christmas because of the magical feeling. Like, most people love Christmas because of like the presents and giving presents to other people and getting presents. Well, I like it because there's always so much to do. There's so many activities going on, like ice skating and going to like the Enchanted Village in Avon. That's my favorite thing to do because it snows down on you. And then I go on the Polar Express 4D ride. And I just love doing things like that and going snow tubing. And I just love being around my family at Christmas time. And it just feels so magical with all the lights and the snow, especially. I love snow.
And I know that you love the snow, the magic feeling, the lights. As a kid, what were some of your favorite gifts that you got from your family? I know that you grew up with a sister and your mom and dad, which we will touch upon a little bit later. But describe what it was waking up on Christmas morning and what some of your favorite gifts were as a kid.
My parents have always overdone Christmas. Like, you walk downstairs and there's the big tree and like all the presents, and then like Santa's presents were always in the front. My favorite gift that I ever got was probably a Hannah Montana TV. I went through several years of a phase obsessed with Hannah Montana. I had all of Hannah Montana's clothes. I gave private concerts to all of my family members, and they listened to Best of Both Worlds and Rockstar on repeat for like years. I was her for 4 Halloweens in a row too. But yeah, that was my favorite Christmas present to date, was the Hannah Montana TV.
I love that. So it sounds like you're a big fan of Hannah Montana. You love to sort of emulate her. Did you like to, it sounds like you dressed up as her, but did you like to sing her songs, watch the TV show? What made you so into Hannah Montana? And do you follow Miley Cyrus now currently, or was it just her character that you enjoyed?
I think what made me so into Hannah Montana was she had that small town feel that everyone could relate to. And then on top of that, she was like this big superstar. And it always like gave me the dream of like being a superstar someday and being on TV and throwing my own concerts. Of course, I definitely couldn't sing. My family could tell you that. But I really enjoyed that she was from a small town and that she became this superstar overnight. And she was a role model to everyone. I still follow her now, yes, as Miley. I love her music.
You followed Miley, sounds like her entire career. I know she's a little bit more into retirement mode, it seems like right now. But yes, she did have a long stretch there being with Disney, being involved with the music. So I do like that she was an idol of yours. Sounds like you guys had a great time too. Christmas morning, you wake up, you probably had the gifts from your mom and dad, and then also the gifts from Santa, which I also did too as a kid. I liked how they mixed it up a bit. How was it growing up in Bellingham? I know you grew up in Bellingham. And you have a sister named Amber. She's 17, so she's a little bit younger than you. What was it like growing up with a sister in Bellingham with your mom and dad? Paint the picture of that for the listeners.
Yeah, I grew up in Bellingham. It's a really small town. If you ask anybody if they've heard of Bellingham, they're like, oh, I'm not sure. Is that near Milford? I'm like, yes, it's near Milford. It's also near like Gillette Stadium. We're like 15 minutes away from there. My sister was a cheerleader growing up, so I went to all of her like cheer games and football stuff. So my sister has kind of been my biggest supporter and my rock ever since we were young kids. I mean, of course, we fight like normal sisters do, but my parents always say that the four people that matter in the world are the four people at your table. And they really instilled those family values in us to always have each other's back. And even now she comes on Princess visits with me and she's really incredible.
I love that. So it sounds like your sister has always been involved in your life in a positive way. And I can't wait to hear more about how she helps give back to the Boston area community with you through the Princess Program Foundation. And again, I love the princess dresses behind you. Are those your own dresses? Do you like to dress up? Are you into cosplay, or do you like to just wear them for fun, or do you dress up sometimes for the kids?
I actually had no experience dressing up before other than like my Hannah Montana days. But I did buy the costumes for the foundation and I'm Belle for the foundation. So I do have experience going into the hospital rooms and going into the individual homes dressed as Belle.
Very cool. So we will talk all about you dressing up as Belle, and I'm going to have to take some of those photos from you off your Instagram. That way I can share them a little bit later. But again, I know that you grew up in Bellingham. You guys are now listening to Alyssa Banks. She is the founder of Princess Program Foundation. We are so thrilled to have her on here today. Again, I know that typically we do have on professional athletes and sports entertainers, but I thought today would be the perfect day to talk to a lovely woman like Alyssa all about charity and giving back, because we have not been able to do that. The Boss Babes have not been able to go to live events. So perfect way to do so is to talk to somebody that has been doing it or trying to do it during the whole COVID pandemic. So again, growing up in Bellingham, in a small town in Massachusetts, with your sister, with your mom and dad, I know you're also very close to your cousins. So what was it like growing up sort of in your family? And I know you guys were all big Patriots fans.
That side of the family, all of our cousins are really close. We're not super close in age. Like I have an 8-year-old cousin. I have a 13-year-old cousin, a 10-year-old cousin. Like we're not very close in age at all, but we've been super close ever since we were younger. My Nana's biggest thing, who is another one of my bigger supporters. We always had like 4th of July together and like got together on Christmas. And you knew those days that you were going to see your cousins, and we would make our own little music videos like to Hannah Montana or Taylor Swift or anything like that. Yes, we are big Patriots fans. My dad is very sad that Tom Brady left us and Gronk. But we have like a shrine to the Patriots in our house. Like we are very big Patriots fans. I mean, I personally don't follow football as much as the rest of my family does. My mom makes a great Super Bowl dip, and I love how everybody gets so excited about the game and when we all like take pictures together in our jerseys.
I want to hear all about this special Super Bowl dip, because as you guys know, whether you're listening and you're from New England or you are from somewhere else, you guys know, as well as the great New Englanders know, the Patriots will and forever will be, even though we don't have Tom Brady anymore, a dynasty and Super Bowl champions etched into forever. So what is this Super Bowl dip like? And then I need to hear all about this Patriots shrine that you guys have going on. It sounds pretty neat.
Yeah, so the Super Bowl dip is just like your normal buffalo chicken dip. I just think everything my mom makes is incredible. because she should seriously be like someone's personal chef. She makes everything like from scratch, has her own recipes and things like that. For the Patriots shrine, it has moved from upstairs to downstairs, back to upstairs, back to downstairs. My dad has like this giant glass case that has all of their different like hats in it and banners and flags and stuff, and lots of jerseys.
Super cool. I love that. So it sounds like you have a lot of jerseys and you have the hats. Basically a shrine to the Super Bowl, it almost sounds like. Mm-hmm. So you guys must be super excited that football season is around the bend. Obviously, we don't have Tom Brady. So let me ask you, what do you think is going to happen this season? Obviously, we have Cam Newton. It sounds like he's going to be the starting quarterback. He's coming from Carolina Panthers. I'm actually down in North Carolina right now with my boyfriend, as you know. But what do you think is going to happen this season? I know it's kind of hard to tell. We haven't really seen anything happen because no one's really been going to the practices or anything. But what are your thoughts on Cam Newton being our new quarterback coming from Carolina?
I mean, as far as what's going to happen this season, I really can't say much because I don't know. I hope that he brings on his new legacy and gives us something new as Patriots fans.
That's a good answer. I'm excited to see what Cam Newton does as well. And I feel like almost every episode I do ask people what they think about Tom Brady leaving and what the new Patriots team is going to do. So I guess we're only a couple of weeks out from seeing what the team actually does with their new quarterback. And without having Gronk yet again, he's going to be playing with Tom Brady now with the Bucs. So sadly, it's almost like we have a brand new team. We still have Edelman and we still have Belichick. So fingers crossed that we do still play well. You guys are now listening to Alyssa Banks. She is the Princess Program founder. You guys are listening to her talk all about growing up in a small town in Massachusetts called Bellingham. She loved Christmas as a kid. It was all about waking up, seeing those fun gifts and the magic and the lights and the tubing and just being outside and being around family. So you are a big Patriots fan. You talked about your dip that your mom makes. That sounds absolutely delicious. I'm a big fan of buffalo chicken dip as well. And I wanted to ask you, so obviously you guys like to dress up, or you like to dress up in princess gear for the young children when you need to or when you want to. What are some of your favorite go-to items to wear for a Patriots game? Do you have like a special jersey that you like to wear or a hat that you need to wear every time because it's like a ritual you want the Patriots to win? Describe to me your perfect go-to Patriots outfit on game day.
I actually have this Tom Brady shirt that says something like having the biggest heart is like the way to win the game. And that always speaks to me because of my foundation, and like having the biggest heart gets you so far with something like what I'm doing.
Such an awesome answer. And yes, Tom Brady does have a big heart. I think you also know too that his mother, I don't know if she's still currently battling cancer or she was battling cancer for a while. So to me, watching him still perform very well on the field and off the field, because he does do a lot of stuff with Best Buddies, or he did when he was involved in the Boston area. He's always actively involved with his family, of course, and with his wife, Giselle. So to see him sort of go through the motions while his mother was sick was always very interesting to me, that he always stayed so focused. So I do like that you have that t-shirt, and it emulates Tom Brady and his whole mindset of staying focused, being a great person, and having a big heart. I know we're talking all about sports, so let's jump right into it. I know that you weren't too sporty growing up, but you did actually play basketball and soccer as a kid. So what was that experience like, playing basketball and soccer? And did you ever think of wanting to play in college or maybe becoming a pro, or is it more to stay fit? Basically, what did you enjoy so much about getting involved with sports at a young age?
So my dad always wanted a tomboy, like girl, so that he could get her involved in like all different kinds of sports. So my parents tried soccer and basketball when I was younger. My dad actually coached my basketball team, and I wasn't too good at first. I was actually scoring points for the other team. I started to really enjoy basketball towards the end, and I was going to go on to it in college, but I couldn't fit it in with the Princess Program. Obviously, it's a huge time commitment. And for soccer, I was really good at it when I was younger. I used to play with the butterflies on the field instead of following the ball. But after that, I really did enjoy it, and I got a lot of goals.
Sounds like you were actively involved with sports, and obviously fate led you to doing stuff other than sports, which is totally cool. You are giving back to the community, and I can't wait for people to hear all about the Princess Program Foundation. But I do love that your dad coached you as a kid. It's like you guys had such a great family dynamic. Guys, please keep listening in and tuning in. Before we get back to Alyssa, I just wanted to chat a little bit about Haleo Athletica. You guys know I post up photos and I do little posts up on Instagram all the time and stories. I'm actually rocking one of their sports bras right now and their pants. Of course, you can't see them because you can't see from my waist down, unfortunately. Haleo LA posting up their website right here. So www.haleo, so it's HALIO LA.com. So HaleoLA.com. I love their sportswear. It is so buttery soft. They have different colors. You can wear this out either to work out in or do some yoga, maybe even rock it to the beach as like a swimsuit top. Their pants are so incredibly soft. They have different sizes, different colors. I like to mix and match. Like right now, I'm actually wearing a mint green top, as you can see, and then I'm wearing navy blue pants. They just came out with shorts as well. So please check out their website. Again, it's right here, HaleoLA.com. They rock. And their prices are really great, so please check them out. And we are going to jump right back in with our girl, Alyssa Banks, because we love chatting with her tonight. We are talking all things charity and giving back. So I wanted to talk to you about some fun facts. We already discussed the fact that you enjoy Christmas, the gifts, the magic, being around your family and your friends. Let's talk about cooking. I know that you like to make chicken Alfredo, and you're sort of learning how to cook a little bit better, as we discussed earlier, with your friend Jess. So what is it like learning how to cook from your friend Jess? And what are some of the dishes that she's trying to teach you?
I first reached out to Jess because I was like, I have to start like cooking meals for my boyfriend. I can't always bring him out to eat every weekend. Like, you have to cook my amazing chicken Alfredo. So she taught me how to bread the chicken, how to boil the pasta, how to do the sauce and everything. And I watched her, and now I'm going to recreate it for him this weekend. So I hope it goes really well. I had no experience cooking prior to college, so I'm trying to learn as much as I can right now.
I think chicken Alfredo is a great dish to start with because you can kind of learn how to cook the chicken properly. Obviously, if you overcook it, you're going to watch how you do it. That way it doesn't get too dried out. And then you want to make sure that you make the sauce correctly, because if it's too cheesy or if it's too watery, so you're going to have to let me know how that goes. Let us know if your boyfriend ends up liking it. What other dishes do you plan on wanting to make in the future? Do you want to learn how to bake as well, or are you strictly just sticking with cooking for now?
I'd love to learn how to make my mom's famous chicken parm. I want to learn how to make my Nana's eggplant. She's supposed to be teaching me, but she's not. So Nana, if you're listening, we're making your eggplant soon. I just want to learn to cook more dishes in general.
So it sounds like you kind of have a little bit of an Italian background. What is your ethnicity? I know that you obviously want to learn how to make these Italian dishes. So do you have a little bit of a Sicilian background, or talk about your ethnicity a little bit?
My family is very Italian. I have a Nana, a Papa, and we're centered around basically sauce. Like, if my mom could cook sauce for 7 days a week and we would be totally happy with it, she would. But I'm like kind of unlike everyone in my family, and I'm like, well, we should have steak some nights, and we should have risotto with like a cream sauce, not sauce. But my family's like, red sauce 7 days a week would be great. If we didn't have Alyssa, we'd have red sauce 7 days a week.
I'm big into the sauce and pasta, more so come fall and winter time, obviously, because in the summer it's a little bit hard to want to heat up the house and make those meatballs. I'm down in North Carolina right now, and it's pretty hot, but thankfully my boyfriend and his parents have central AC, but his parents are all about making like the baked ziti, and I want to make eggplant soon. I'm a big eggplant person, but she loves making baked ziti and meatballs and all that great stuff. So I've had my fair share of the pasta down here, but typically when I'm back home in Mass, I usually wait to make that stuff for fall and winter, along with like the stews and the chowders and all that yummy, hearty food.
I can't agree more.
Do you have any plans in the future to learn how to bake anything specifically for your boyfriend? Give us some backstory on you and your boyfriend. Does he ever help you out with the Princess Program Foundation? What does he do back home? He must be pretty special if he's dating somebody great like yourself.
Thank you so much. For baking, I'm not much of a baker. I do bake cookies with my boyfriend. He's teaching me. He knows how to bake cookies, but that's kind of it. But we're both looking to learn like baking and cooking and stuff like that. We met at a college party, and a few months later, he Snapchatted me and was like, "Let's go out." And I had just left a school and I was trying to do something new in my life. And I was like, you know what? It sounds great to go out with someone and just try it out. And he ended up being like my best friend. We've been together for 6 months now, almost 7. And we're already like planning our 1 year and all the stuff we're going to do all throughout fall and for Christmas time, because he knows how big of a Christmas fan I am. And he wants to help out with the Princess program. He's like, I will be any superhero you want me to be. And we do the buzz off at Gillette Stadium usually, not this year because of COVID, but definitely next year. He was like, I want to go and like wear a Princess program shirt, or I'll be Spider-Man. So he's very supportive of me.
Sounds like you guys have a great dynamic, and I can't wait to talk a little bit more about him potentially dressing up and the buzz off when we start talking about the Princess Program Foundation. I think it's really great. It's interesting how like fate and destiny bring you to your special person, and it sounds like you guys are on that great path. Maybe I'll get to meet him when we venture back up to the Boston area. But before we continue, guys, please stick with us. I'm your host, Brittany Baldi. We're here with the BosBabes, of course. Please subscribe to us on Spotify and iTunes. And before we get back, again, please stick with us because we are going to be talking to Alyssa all about the Princess Program Foundation. This whole episode is geared towards giving back to the Boston area, charity, and how one person can make such a big difference back home. It doesn't matter if you're 21 years old, 15 years old, or 80 years old. You guys can give back to your community in a number of ways. But again, before we continue, I got to talk about my amazing people back home. They are called Green Team Junk Removal, and you guys hear me talk about them all the time. They love to give back as well. So Green Team Junk Removal, their phone number is 508-361-0519. Again, guys, that's 508-361-0519. Green Team Junk Removal is all about coming to where you work, where you live, and they will recycle, reuse, and donate 80% of what they haul out. So they will show up to wherever you're at, haul out unused items in an eco-friendly way. They are currently following the COVID protocol, so do not feel like you can't give them a call because you think that it's unsafe. They wear masks. They are following that COVID protocol, so please give Green Team Junk Removal a call at 508-361-0519. They will show up. They will take items out of your house, again, out of your work area, get rid of those items, whether they donate it, reuse, recycle. And here's a really fun, cool tip that they recently posted up on their Facebook. Did you know that recycling plastic saves twice as much energy as burning in a incinerator? So if you guys go ahead and start recycling that plastic, you're going to be saving energy, and that plastic can then be reused for other great ways. So again, Green Team Junk Removal, shout out to them. They are an amazing sponsor for us. And if you guys need things to be hauled away, please reach out to them. We're going to jump right back with our girl, Alyssa.
Hi.
And guys, thank you so much for sticking with us. So we've been talking about it off and on right now. We need to just jump right into it. What is the Princess Program Foundation? I know that you guys have teddy bears involved. You have princesses involved. But what exactly is the Princess Program Foundation, and what makes this such a great nonprofit?
We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization, and we visit children in hospitals and in their homes to bring them magic dressed up as princesses and superheroes, just hoping to put a smile on their face through a hard time. And that's my favorite part about it, is just bringing the smile.
And how did you come up with such a great program as this one? I know that you, back in the day, were involved with sick children or making hospital visits, and something sparked in your mind like, hey, you know what? I know that there's a special way that I can give back, so I'm going to start having these kids get smiles more constantly, whether it be currently you guys are doing house visits where you have Elsa. I think I saw earlier today, we posted up on our Instagram page. You have people dressed up as Elsa. You have yourself dressed up as Belle, showing up to these hospitals, doing these home visits to put a smile on these kids' faces. So can you describe a little bit better what exactly the Princess Program Foundation is and how you enjoy giving back to the community?
Yeah, so we're a volunteer service. We are made up of almost 60 volunteers now. We started with about 25, and we have every princess you could think of, and we're looking to get superheroes. We're getting superheroes pretty soon. And we visit kids in their homes. We visit them in their hospital rooms. It started out with their hospital rooms. And then when COVID changed everything, I decided to do a teddy bear project. And so we put campus Princess Program Foundation shirts on the bears, and then we sold them, and the money that we made we donated to the Jimmy Fund, which is a great organization that helps kids through cancer by like providing essential needs that they have, and they have like a playroom that they showed us, and they buy like supplies for that, so I wanted to donate to them. And I actually had an old professor of mine that decided to give out 25 bears to a bunch of kindergartners. So we went dressed as Belle and Ariel to her house and stood in her driveway with masks on, and we visited with all the kids and gave them their bears. And then after that, I decided to do individual home visits where we visit the kids in their homes, and people can set it up through contacting our Facebook page.
Back in the day, they used to do actual hospital visits. I'm sure they will switch back into that after COVID. And once it's safe for these sick children to be around people, obviously they must have, or they do have, lowered immune systems, so they can't really be around many people. So I do really like the idea of the teddy bears and the at-home visits. Can you describe to the listeners what it's like seeing these kids smile when they open up that door and the doorbell is rung and they're like, oh my gosh, Elsa's here, Belle's here. I actually just posted up a video. If you guys are interested in seeing it, I put up a video a little while ago of a recent home visit, and to see those kids' faces, it was 4 little girls, and they were just so happy and so thrilled to have the doorbell ring and see their favorite princesses open up that door. So what is it like after the doorbell rings, they see these women dressed up as their favorite Disney characters? What does the rest of that setup look like?
It's the best feeling in the world. It's like actual magic. Like it's beyond Disney and like Disney Channel. Like we grow up with that magic, and then we walk into those rooms or walk into their home. Like we don't go actually in the home because of COVID right now, but we stand like on the front porch, and just to see their faces light up, like that's why I believe in magic, is because of them. And it's incredible.
And I hope one day to potentially team up with you guys and do something for Boston Children's Hospital. For those of you that don't know, myself as a child, I grew up very sick with asthma and allergies, so I was in and out of Boston Children's fairly often. And to pair up with somebody like yourself, Alyssa, to give back to the community would be absolutely incredible. Speaking of Boston Children's, what are some of the hospitals that you have been involved with? MGH, Boston Children's, we have back home. There's a number of hospitals that we have back in the Boston area. Who are some of the hospitals that you have been involved with directly? And then I want to talk all about the buzz off that you were chatting about a little bit earlier. You and your boyfriend are interested in getting involved with again after COVID.
So actually our first visit ever was to Boston Children's Hospital. And if you've ever been to Boston Children's, you know they have like the corral thing where you go in through the doors, and then there's like glass all through there. And we walked in, and you could see the kids lined up against the glass. Like there were so many kids. And I walked in as Belle, and a little girl came down all the way from upstairs and was like, Belle, you're my favorite princess. And in that moment, I really felt like a princess. She gave me a hug, and I just felt like I was making such a difference in her day. Boston Children's is one of the hospitals we visit. We also visit Tufts Medical Center in Boston. We love Floating Hospital at Tufts. Boston Shriners is great too. And we go towards like the Springfield area too. We do Bay State Children's Hospital, and we've been to Hasbro and Providence. We've been to a lot of hospitals, and I think the best part is like making the connections with the staff. And then when they ask you to come back for like special events like Princess Day or Superhero Day, and just to see the kids' faces when you come in for that special event is the best feeling.
It sounds so special and so amazing. And again, I hope that one day we could actually, the BosBabes can go and film it and showcase it on one of our shows someday. Yes, obviously, probably after COVID, but we cannot wait to be a part of that. And please tell the listeners how they can get involved directly, whether they want to either possibly dress up as a princess with you guys, or how do they donate? Where can people get involved with the Princess Program Foundation?
Sure. So the best way to get involved with us is to visit our website. It's www.princessprogram.foundation. And you can fill out either a contact us form, or there's even like a message bar in the side, and I always answer that. I'm always on that stuff. And it goes right to my Outlook email, which is theprincessprogram@outlook.com. And that's how we get most of our volunteers. They go through like a volunteer screening process where we ask them a couple of questions and why they're interested and if they've done any nonprofit work before. From there, we coordinate visits. For donations, we do accept donations there. The best way to give a donation is on our website as well.
You guys can donate directly on her website. I will go ahead and share that later up on our Facebook page. But again, if you guys do want to donate, please check out her website. You can also volunteer if you are interested in being either a princess or a superhero. She would love more volunteers because, again, this program is all about volunteering, giving back, and getting involved with the community. But chat all about that buzz off. I know that it's something that happens usually yearly at Gillette Stadium. I know that a lot of professional athletes get involved. Usually you see Gronk there getting his head shaved, or some of the Boston Bruins players are there getting their head shaved. What was your involvement like with that in the past? And what do you guys see yourself doing with that program in the future?
Well, the Buzz Up, is run by One Mission, and we got involved with One Mission like via email, and then the founder called us and asked us if we would come to the Buzz Off. So we went to the Buzz Off for the very first time, and we didn't have any like the wigs yet. We were very small at the time, and we didn't have very like elite costumes, but the kids knew exactly who we were. Like the second we walked through that door, we had kids like running towards us. And we even did like a fun promotional photo with the Buzz Off where they were like pretending to buzz our hair as the characters, which was so cool. And then the second time we went back, we came with like so many more characters, and it was just a great experience overall. And the kids there are so adorable, and it's for such a great cause.
I have not been able to attend a Buzz Off yet, but I do hope to attend a Buzz Off at some point and be directly involved, whether that be covering the event or helping get sponsors there. And I do know that it is such a great event, and I love that they do it right at Gillette Stadium. So hopefully you can get involved again. Hopefully BosBabes can get involved again. But yes, they are such a great group of people, and the event is usually amazing every year. So if you guys don't know who One Mission is, please also give them a look up. And I think you could probably go on like YouTube or something and see some of the previous Buzz Offs, because like I said, I've seen a lot of the Bruins players get involved. I've seen a lot of Patriots players get involved, and it's just all around something that is amazing. I want to keep continuing chatting a little bit more about Princess Program Foundation before we wrap up, because it is such a great program. You guys are now listening to Alyssa Banks. She is the founder of Princess Program Foundation. That's why I keep leaving it up here, right at the bottom for you guys to look at. But please, guys, check out her website. It is absolutely amazing for the Boston community. Hopefully one day she branches off and she gets involved with other communities as well. But for now, she's right home in Boston. You guys can look at her website, whether you want to volunteer or donate money, the way they can get more teddy bears. But again, her whole foundation is dedicated towards putting smiles on sick children's faces, whether they show up at the hospitals or they do house visits. You guys name it, Alyssa is involved with it. And Alyssa, what do you guys have coming up in the future? Do you have any events coming up? Again, with COVID, I know it's a little bit wonky, but do you have any future events planned out? And where do you see Princess Program Foundation going towards in the future? Do you want to do any mentoring and coaching? I know you just recently turned like 21 too, so I know you're pretty young. So for a young woman, I give you credit for being so amazing at giving back to the community and not being selfish, because I know myself at age 21, I was all about like the partying and the going out. So you were very selfless for a young lady.
Thank you so much. As for what's coming up, we have a lot of home visits. We're booked currently until November with little warriors that need a smile, either from Cinderella, Rapunzel, Elsa, or Anna. And we're doing a small elite get-together for the kids that we have made a difference for in the fall. And masks are required. It's less than 25 people. And we're just going to do their makeup to help them feel like a princess for the day. And they're actually encouraged to wear their favorite princess dress. As for the future, I'm not quite sure yet. I envisioned this at first as a school club. That is what it started out as. And I thought someone else was going to take over after 4 years. And then I got blessed with it as a foundation. And it's all like going up from here. I really don't know yet.
Very exciting, though. It's kind of one of those things where it started off as your baby, and it still is your baby. And I guess sky's the limit at this point. Just keep encouraging people to get involved in volunteering and helping put that message out there and doing shows with people like myself that want to actively help give back and give you a platform. I also do love that you always reach out to me and say, hey, Britt, please post this, or do you want to get involved with that? That's the best way to actively get involved with others and to collaborate with other people that have platforms. So please continue to do that with myself and others. And I'm so excited to hopefully get involved with your foundation in other ways. Do you have anything else that you want to add about the Princess Program Foundation? Obviously doing Positive Pop and having you talk about your social media and all that, but is there anything else that you want to talk about as far as Princess Program Foundation? Because again, guys, tonight is a very special episode. We are not talking about sports that much tonight, but again, it's because I did want to showcase a special charity, special nonprofit tonight, because as you all know, the Boss Babes have not been able to go to an event lately due to COVID. So what's the next best thing is have an amazing woman like Alyssa talk all about how she gives back herself.
So I'm going to tell you some stories about the Princess Program Foundation, if that's okay. My two favorite moments of all time, I'm going to share with you. So I went to, I believe it was Tufts Medical Center with Cinderella, and we walked into the room, and the little girl was like all covered in like IVs and stuff, and she sat right up and was like, Cinderella! And she talked her ear off for like a half hour, and afterwards her dad pulled me aside out of the room, and he was like, my daughter hasn't smiled in like 3 months, and you just gave me that back for a moment. And like our slogan is every moment matters, because one small moment can make a significant difference. And that was one of my favorite moments. My second favorite moment is when I went to a house for children with cancer and I was dressed as Belle. It was our second visit of all time, and there was a 13-year-old girl who came down in her wheelchair and she had a matching Belle dress on. And it was so hard not to cry in that moment because it was so heartwarming that she matched me and she was so into what we were doing. And she even gave me a hug at the end. She was like, I know you're not the real Belle, but this made my entire life. And she was showing me all the stickers on her wheelchair, and she was showing me how to use Snapchat, because princesses don't know how to use Snapchat because they don't live in this world in the 21st century. But it was a really incredible experience.
I absolutely adore hearing both of those stories, and I'm glad that you shared those special moments with me, the Boss Babes tribe, and obviously the great listeners and people that are watching live right now, because that goes to show you how magic this program is and how you can give back by literally just showing up, wearing a really cute outfit, handing out a teddy bear, and putting a smile on a child's face. Because if they're feeling sick, if they're feeling down, they're in their bed, they might have an IV in their arm like you talked about, they might be sick, throwing up at night, can't sleep, they probably don't really want to watch TV, they might not have hung out with their friends in months because they're so sick. I know I grew up feeling the same way. Again, we already talked about going in and out of Children's Hospital as a child, sick with allergies and asthma. Part of the reason why I started this show was to be able to give back and give people a platform to talk about situations like the one you are speaking of right now. So I just love hearing that you were able to, with your program, be involved with such incredible moments like that. Do you have any other great special moments that you would like to share with us?
Today we did a Zoom call for a young warrior who is only 21 months old, and she had just recently lost her hair to chemotherapy. So she came on the screen and like she was in like pajamas, and she saw Elsa, and I was behind the camera, so like she couldn't see me, but I heard her voice so loud and clear, and she was like, Elsa, you're really here. And even her mom said to us afterwards, she was like, you know, like I know you can't do any visits in person because of COVID, but just seeing her on the Zoom call made her day, and it brought like a little sunshine on a rainy day. And as for the future, I would love to keep doing that, whether it's Zoom or in the hospital rooms. I want to do this until I'm gray and old and going with college students to dress up.
And before we wrap up, guys, we want to have Alyssa say some positive pop, because as you all know, we love to give back to the community, whether that's directly by going to charities, covering those charity events, starting our own charities ourselves. As you guys know, last fall, we collected a lot of, Emma and I, my former co-host, and I collected a ton of back to school items and sporting goods and donated them to local boys and girls clubs. Again, we aren't able to do that because of COVID. Again, you do know that we do love to give back when we can. So big part of our show is giving back, community, and of course, sports and healthy lifestyle. Positive pop, girl. Alyssa, give me some of your positive pop, whether that be positive mantra, a favorite saying of yours, a book that you like to read. And I know that you're a big Nicholas Sparks fan, so we will chat about that after, but what is some of your positive pop?
Just always been an overly positive person. I don't really have like any like favorite quotes or anything, but I'm always looking for like historical quotes or like famous things that people say about volunteers, just because I feel like volunteering is such a work of heart that even for like my organization, I always look for things like that. And I just love helping kids and helping people. And that's kind of my positive pop.
Helping others is definitely a great form of positive pop. And I know you are a big fan of Nicholas Sparks books. What are some of your favorite Nicholas Sparks books? And I know that a lot of movies are created based off of his books, of course, like The Notebook and a multitude of other great movies. Do you have any favorite quotes from some of those movies? And what are some of your films and books?
Notebook and Dear John are my favorite books. A close third is Every Breath. That's a newer one. I actually met Nicholas Sparks recently, last year, and he signed my copy of Every Breath, and it was awesome. I thanked him up and down for being such an amazing person, and he was like, how old are you? Because like most of the people there were much older than me. And my favorite quote from The Notebook is, if you're a bird, I'm a bird. And I actually have like that on my laptop, the sticker, and I say it to my boyfriend all the time, like, if you're a bird, I'm a bird.
If you guys don't know who Nicholas Sparks is, you need to get involved with his books, get involved with his movies. Such great love stories. If you are a sucker for a great love story, check out Nicholas Sparks. And I think a lot of his movies are based on North Carolina or South Carolina, which is where I'm at. So whenever I'm down here lately, I've been thinking about his books. So when you mentioned that in your fun facts, I was like, we have to talk about it. And before we wrap up, where can people find you on social media? Obviously, you have your own, which is Alyssa Banks. You guys can look at her social media, which is her personal social media. But she also has the Princess Program Foundation social media as well. So where can people find you on social media so that way they can keep up with your great life?
So our Instagram is at princessprogram.foundation, and then our Facebook is the Princess Program Foundation.
Want to find out where you can find her, you can definitely check out the BosBabes Instagram as well, because we are always sharing out her content and reposting her content. But again, please feel free to add Alyssa Banks on Facebook and Instagram. I'm not sure if they have a Twitter, but they definitely have an Instagram and a Facebook. And please add not only her, but her program as well. And you guys were so great. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Alyssa, do you have any last minute words that you want to talk about, whether it be some more positive pop or something you have coming up in the future? Anything else last minute that we forgot about the Princess Program Foundation?
I just want to thank you so much for having me. And if you guys are looking to donate, every donation helps. We get lots of stuffed animals with that. Like you saw the teddy bears. I'm looking to do like elephants and like tigers and things like that with our logo on them. And we obviously buy the costumes too. But yeah, any donation helps, whether it's $10 or $30. It all goes to the same place and it all helps.
Amazing. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for listening in and tuning in. We love the BosBabes tribe. And Alyssa, thank you so much. And I hope to catch you when I'm back home in the Massachusetts area.
Yeah, thank you again for having me.